Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Siege of Avalon. There's quite a few locations to show you at this point in the game. Unfortunately, they're also very far spread out, so I'm going to have to jump between them quite a bit to save on recording time, and so you don't end up having to watch a video which is just me walking around not having anything to talk about for quite a long time. So I'm going to pause the recording right now and start jumping ahead between the various locations throughout this very large forest and go ahead and show you where everything is. Okay, well, see you in a second. Hello, this is in forest number 2, which is the area to the right of where you start. And what you'll find here is a pair of Shaohul. It's one caster who doesn't really have much of equipment on him, and a scout who shoots arrows at you. Not too much to see here, but again, in order to get the training, you need to kill all the Shaohul in the area. So this is one of the first areas you will probably stumble across. Okay. Hello and welcome back. This is an area in Forest 3. It's just on the edge there if you come in from the left, and this square is the bottom right square, and just on the cusp of the entrance here, you'll bump into a large group of Shaohul who you'll then have to fight. Fortunately, they're all warrior type, so they don't present too much trouble. You just can kite them around and shoot them up until they're dead. I don't believe this party has anything interesting on them, so we'll go ahead and skip to the next spot. Welcome back again. We're still in forest area number 3. We're now in the bottom right-hand corner of that area, and we found a little Ahul encampment with quite a few warriors in it. Not too much trouble, and one of them actually has a special item on him. They're called Greaves of the Fever Guard. They increase your strength a bit, but they penalize your stealth and give you quite a bit of restriction. But they also increase your resistance to heat and magic. So they're quite an interesting item on their own. But even more interesting about them is that they can actually go onto the leg 1 slot rather than the leg 2 slot. Most other items or most other heavy leg armor tends to go on leg 2 over here, but this one doesn't go there. It goes in the first slot for some reason. So you can actually wear 2 heavy pieces of plate that way if you're wearing plate at all. And I think we might actually wear this particular set, since the other pair of pants we have aren't especially useful. They're just regular, ordinary pants, and having fire and magic resistance is fairly helpful to us, mostly because it is the only type of damage we tend to take anymore. So we'll go ahead and wear those for now, and we might swap them out later, but I think I think everyone but the scout would probably wear this. Even if you are a scout, -3 stealth isn't too big of a deal. Usually it's mostly because the scout only has to worry about his stealth stat anyway, so he can pretty much just pump that into oblivion, and a small penalty here or there isn't too big of a deal. Anyway, that's all there is to see here, so I'll pause the video again and start it up again when we found something more interesting. Alright, welcome back. We're now in forest number 6, and we found something of interest over here. It seems to be a little graveyard, and if we try to enter it, we get attacked by a bunch of boarworms, so we're going to have to take care of them before we can continue. Fortunately, they tend to have a hit detection problem with the fireball. They tend to pop up right on your square, and that means you really can't hit them all that well, and you have to fiddle around a bit before you can manage to land a good hit on them. But all in all, they don't give you too much trouble. Just a quick hold spell and should take care of them if you're a mage. If you're a scout, you might have a bit of trouble because they can be hard to sneak up on. They're hard to see. The warrior won't have any trouble with them at all. They're not very good at fighting warriors. in the slightest. So the mage probably has the most difficult job with these guys. Anyway, what we find here is a little, seems to be a mausoleum type thing. So we can go ahead and enter that. And once inside, we seem to be in an area very reminiscent of the catacombs beneath Avalon. And going over here, we find another Shadow Warrior. This one seems dressed in a much more knightly armor, however, and he seems to be the strongest one so far. Fortunately, he's not immune to the hold spell at all, so we can take care of him that way. And he goes down without too much trouble. There's another chest here, and it contains yet another Shadow Amulet. That's the third of the set, so if you've gotten all three by now, you can now go back and get your knighthood as the warrior and wrap up that quest. But once again, we don't really care too much about that. If you check this guy, he has quite a few things on him. First of all, his armor is very good. The pauldrons are all right. You'd probably stick with the giant's pauldrons you found back in Chapter 1. White steel gauntlets are okay. They give good protection, but there's other gauntlets you might be wearing at that point. The steel arm plates are rather good. They give very good defense. You probably would wear those. The white great helm is one of the better defensive helmets in the game. I think you would definitely wear that as the warrior. And this fine crafted longsword is also very good. It's even better than the one we found earlier. The one we found on the darker Shadow Warrior. And it's probably one of the better swords in the game. You'd definitely be wielding that. Again, if you're into swords, which we're not. So that's about all there is to see here. I think there might be another chest around here somewhere. Let's see if, yes, here it is. And it contains the Jewel of Armored Flesh. Now this is an interesting item. It increases your strength and constitution, but it drops your coordination and stealth. It drops your hit recovery and attack recovery, which is good. You want those to be lower than as low as possible. It increases your restriction, which is bad, but it also gives you piercing and cutting resistance, and a fair decent amount of it too. And more importantly, this is actually an accessory item. It's not a piece of armor that you wear. It goes on one of your accessory slots. So if you're a warrior, you would definitely be wearing this. And it's very unfortunate if you happen to skip over that. It's very nice. You should definitely be wearing that as a warrior. It increases all of your most important statistics. Anyway, that was quite a lot of stuff for now, so I think I'll wrap up this video for the moment. I don't like jumping around all that much, so I'm going to try to make it a little more consistent in the future, but given the size of the maps that we're dealing with, this is really the only feasible way I have of showing everything to you, which is unfortunate, but it's the best I can do. Anyway, we'll continue on in the next video and hopefully hunt down whatever's left in the map. See you then.